Zdravo. Nalazimo se na LoginEKO polju.
Hi, we're in a LoginEKO sunflower field. Exactly 2 weeks ago we filmed a video here about the first inter-row cultivation, and now we're going to show you how we do the second pass.
Suncukret je napredovao u
The sunflower has moved on quite a bit in those 2 weeks. It's now at the 6 to 10 leaf stage. New weeds are coming through, and this is the right moment for the second pass. We'll see whether we'll need a third one and whether we'll even have time for it.
Evo nas ponovo na našoj parceli. Here we are again on one of our organic sunflower fields at our southern location, doing the second inter-row cultivation.
Što se tiče nekog posljednjeg momenta,
As for the latest moment to go in with the cultivator, that depends on several factors. One is the machine's clearance. The other is the height of the sunflower, and that usually brings us to the budding stage.
kako smo pripremili špartač za drugo špartanje?
How did we set the cultivator up for the second pass? Very simply, we fitted the yellow finger weeder stars we talked about in the video about the first pass, with the goal of working weeds right in the row zone. As for the actual settings, they depend on the weather, on soil conditions, and on soil moisture.
Skinuli smo zaštitne limove koje smo imali dok je suncukret bio.
We removed the crop protection shields we used when the sunflower was smaller, so now, with this second pass, we're already hilling up the soil toward the row. We're pulling soil into the row zone, and that helps us reduce the weeds that are left there as well.
Tako da u ovom momentu traktor ide brzinom 11 km na čas.
Right now, the tractor is running at 11 kilometers per hour, not much faster than in the first pass. The reason is that the soil is still a bit damp. We had some rainfall over the past few days, but we can't wait for ideal conditions because if more rain comes on top of this, we could miss this cultivation window completely. And that's really not an option.
Iza nas je naš case traktor agregatiran sa. Behind us is our case tractor paired with a locally built Tupanjac cultivator. In this field, we're using it as a 6-row cultivator. The working parts that are usually fitted with knives and do an excellent job in the first pass have now been replaced with hillers so we can hill up our sunflower plants.
Koji su nam korovi sad najdominantniji na ovoj njivi?
Which weeds are dominant on this field now in the second pass? First, we can see foxtail grass. You'll remember from the first video and from the first pass that it was already the dominant weed on this field, and it still is. Along with that, we've got lamb's quarters. In the first pass, it was still tiny. Now it has grown a bit. What else can I see? Yes, there's cocklebur here as well, and there's the occasional European dewberry too. Can we fix what we missed in the first pass? Some of it, yes, some of it, no. In most cases, what stays behind is weed pressure in the row zone, and some weeds unfortunately survive and later cause us trouble at harvest. Bigger trouble or smaller trouble, but we've learned how to deal with that.
Već smo naučili da se borimo sa time.
Dominantni korovi na našoj parceli su. The dominant weeds on our field are wild mustard, bindweed, barnyard grass, and foxtail grass. But the one we're most concerned about is lamb's quarters. Its presence is moderate. The field is only moderately infested with it. But this weed, because of its morphology, can also cause trouble at harvest. It can reach the height of the sunflower head, raise grain moisture at harvest, and slow the whole job down, making it harder.
I da uspori, oteža samu žetvu. Posebno je problematičan ako se nalazi u zoni.
It is especially problematic if it is in the row zone. That's exactly why we're working at higher speeds, so we can hill up the soil toward the row and stop weed development right in that zone. Our tractors set up the basic cultivator while they're still back at the farmstead. Once they get to the field and start working, they make the fine adjustments there. We're doing this second pass in our organic sunflower with 3 different cultivators. Tupanjac, the local option, Busha, the original Hungarian design with rotors as the working parts, and the Austrian Einböck Chopstar. Let's see what kind of results we got from these 3 machines running side by side. We're now in the part of the field worked by Tupanjac, the local version. We can see the inter-row is absolutely clean. There isn't a single weed there, but we also did a good job in the first pass. As for hilling up, solid. I'd say very good. Tiny weeds are visible only in traces.
Rekao bih vrlo dobro zagrtanje, sitni korovi.
Honestly, it would have been hard to hill this any better. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it 8.5 to 9.
Ocena od 1 do 10, ja bih rekao 8,5, 9. Hey, ciao! Ciao, Anastasia!
Hey, hi Anastasia. Can you step out for a moment so we can see the effect of the cultivation?
Of course.
How satisfied are you with the quality of the work?
Vrlo sam zadovoljna. Smatram da very satisfied. I'd say plant damage is minimal.
And hilling up?
It's going great.
I can see we've even got a sunflower here with only 4 leaves. Most of the plants are at 6 to 10 leaves, but this one emerged later.
We even have some rows where most of the plants are still at the 4-leaf stage. There I try to slow down so I don't bury them completely, but even so, this still looks quite good.
So you slow down? And what speed do you normally run?
Normally I go 10 kilometers per hour, but when the plants are that small, I slow down to 8 kilometers per hour so I don't damage them.
So from 8 to 10, okay. I can see the guys swapped out the knives and fitted these hillers. Are they working well? Are you happy with them?
Yes, they're getting pretty close to the plant.
Right, now we're going to see what pretty close really means. I trust our Anastasia. Right, so there's about 30 centimeters between them, which is enough. We can see the working depth here is around 10 to 11 centimeters, and it's lifting enough soil, enough fine soil to hill up properly.
Exactly.
And what does the soil moisture look like to you?
In some spots, you do have to clean soil off the cultivator so it doesn't start sticking. But overall, it's working well and not sticking too much, so conditions are quite suitable for the job.
To me, most of the field appears to have ideal moisture for this operation.
Exactly, the soil is loose, it isn't sticky, which is excellent.
What was left after the first pass in terms of weeds? Mostly small weeds in the row zone.
Exactly, and most of that gets taken care of now. The weeds right next to the plants get covered with soil, which is excellent. After that, there's no further growth of bigger weeds.
Great, thanks a lot, and sorry for holding you up.
Puno ti hvala, izvini što smo te zadržali malo. Nalazimo se sada na delu parcele koji je obradio špartač Busha.
We are now on the part of the field worked by the Busha cultivator, the one with rotating working parts. In ideal soil moisture conditions, it did a good job of hilling up the sunflower, but we can see that if the field is not perfectly level or the soil is a bit harder, the hilling effect is not ideal.
Da to zagrtanje i nije najbolje. Inače,
My personal impression of the Busha cultivator is that it showed the best quality in the first pass, but it isn't as good in the second pass for hilling. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd rate it 7.5 to 8.
Đorđe, ti si danas majstor za mađarski.
George, today you're the expert on the Hungarian Busha cultivator, a very unusual machine.
Yes, an interesting one.
Instead of little hoes, what do we have here?
I'd say rotors. It doesn't cut weeds the way a hoe does. It literally pulls them out and lifts them by the root. So it pulls everything out and doesn't leave it behind.
Even bigger weeds?
Bigger weeds too.
What about the protective zone? Does it damage the plants?
No, that's why depending on sunflower height, in some places I have to go slower and in others I can go faster. Where the sunflower is taller, I go faster. Where it's smaller, I have to slow down so I don't bury it. Let's say the optimum is around 10 to 10.5 kilometers per hour on average. Where the sunflower is bigger, I could go maybe 11 or 12, but that's where I keep it.
So with sunflowers at 8 to 10 leaves, could you go up to 12?
Yes.
But because emergence and crop stage are uneven, the average is 10.5. And what would you say about that protective zone? How wide is it?
Very little stays uncultivated, maybe about 5 centimeters. That's how it looks.
Really? Let's see. Well, to me that looks more like 20 centimeters. But thanks to the speed and the way it works, how would you rate the hilling effect in sunflower? Good, average, excellent?
Excellent, especially considering this is a new machine for us and we still have limited experience with it. Probably a bit because of the speed and a bit because of the uneven crop. If the speed were higher, it would throw even more soil.
Up to what stage can we use the Busha in cultivation? I'd say 65 to 70 centimeters. The clearance is 70 to 72 centimeters. So in theory, we can keep going almost to the end.
Da bi problem bio poluge na traktoru.
The only possible issue would be the tractor's link arms so they don't start pulling the plants.
But those tractor arms sit quite low and even pass over the row. From our experience last year, the last stage when we can still go in safely is up to the 20-leaf stage. Of course, we do that during the warmer part of the day when the plants are less brittle. What about plant snapping right now, today?
None at all.
Georgia, thank you. See you.
Hvala. Vidimo se. Nalazimo se na delu parcele koji je radio.
We're now on the part of the field worked by the Einböck Chopstar. The inter-row is pretty clean. You can recognize the Einböck effect by the furrow it leaves in the middle of the row. It works a bit deeper there, more than 11 centimeters. The hilling effect is fantastic. It really builds mounds around the plants, and on my scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it a 10.
Na mojoj skali od 1 do 10, ja bih ovde dao ocenu 10.
U prošlom videu smo vam pominjali žute gumene prste kao dodatke. In the previous video, we mentioned the yellow finger weeder stars as add-ons used in the second pass. but unfortunately, they aren't helping us right now. Soil conditions are a bit wetter. We've had rainfall in the previous period, and now those yellow stars are breaking the sunflower because soil builds up between them and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They should be letting the sunflower pass through, but right now they're breaking it, so we're getting more damage than benefit. That's why we're going to lift them and work without them. If soil conditions were a bit different, we would be using them.
Bez njih. Da su malo uslovi zemljišta drugačiji, onda bi ih koristili.
Even though the weed we fear most at harvest on this field is lamb's quarters, luckily there's no cocklebur here. But for the tractor drivers, the biggest problem in cultivation and hilling is wild mustard, a winter weed that is now already at the seed-forming stage, so fully developed plants. Thanks to the quality of these cultivators, we can still eliminate it as well. I hope we'll see you again at harvest next time. Until then, greetings from LoginEKO.